let's talk about the IRS. People are always scared of the IRS, which is something that I never understood. Why the hell are we scared of the IRS? Like, if you're watching this channel, if you are a financially savvy person who's reasonably responsible, you probably shouldn't be scared of the IRS. Like, the IRS ain't coming after you because you probably moving in a way where you're actually taking care of the bill. Yo, what's going on? I'm Marcus. You're the channel, The Debt Free Dad, where we're following my family's journey to what we consider financial freedom as we look to become first generation millionaires. Because, hey, it's a lot of first generation millionaires. Why can't we be one? Why can't I be one? I'm not that stupid. I look like this, but I'm not that stupid. I should be able to figure it out. In today's video, y'all saw from the thumbnail, we're going to talk about my absurd tax bill. My tax bill was crazy. So, I know a lot of the finance folks, finance team, the finance community that like to do Transfer Tuesday. What is the largest amount that was ever done on a Transfer Tuesday? I'm pretty sure I'm about to break the record. If I'm not, I'm gonna be pretty close. But I had a crazy ass tax bill. We're gonna talk a little bit about the IRS, this crazy tax bill, how I got the tax bill, and more importantly, why I'm fortunate that I could actually pay the damn thing. As always, before we dive in, I'm a licensed attorney, but I'm not your attorney. So this isn't legal advice. This isn't financial advice. This isn't Hennessy. So if you're looking for legal advice, financial advice, or somebody drinking Hennessy, go to another channel because definitely not doing the first two, and I'm not doing the third one right now. Maybe on a live or something, it might change, but right now, not Hennessy, not legal, not financial advice. Before I talk about my tax bill, let's talk about an old tax bill I had. When I first started practicing law, I was making like, I don't know, somewhere between 40 to $43,000 a year. That's what my salary for the first 3 years. After that third year, I relocated, moved my family, and I doubled. Yeah, actually, a little bit more than doubled my income. Well, stupid me, what did I forget to do? I forget to adjust my tax withholding. So I go through the entire year. Was it I don't know. I can't even remember what year it was, but I go through the entire year thinking everything is sweet. I'm not being the most responsible financially at this particular moment. So I'm just kind of cruising along. And at the end of the year, I'm like, oh, yeah, tax season. I'm going to get me a little tax return and stash it. But no, I ended up getting a bill for like $10,000 owed to the feds and maybe like 2,000 owed to the state government. So it sucked. And of course, because I was being ridiculous, I didn't have the money to pay him right away. So I had to go on a payment plan. You don't want to go on a payment plan with the IRS because interest is like compounded daily. It's like crazy. Interest accrues so fast. So I went on a payment plan. I was making all of my payments, never made my payments. I actually expedited it because I was like, man, I don't want to mess with the IRS. So I got the payment. It was probably about $1,500 remaining owed to the feds. $1,500 remaining. I never missed a payment on this payment plan. And I got a letter in the mail saying that if I didn't pay the remaining balance, they were going to garnish my wages. I was like, damn, bro, I didn't even, I didn't even miss a payment. I wasn't even late. They was like, oh, we're going to garnish your wages and put a lien on my house. A $1,500 lien? Like, come on, it was ridiculous. So after that incident, I realized that I didn't want to mess with the alphabet boys, the boys in black. So I went for a period where I just got shook. I was just kind of, like, you know what? I'm not messing with these cats. Let me go and pay them extra. So me and my wife would for years, we would always set our deductions at single zero. And I would send like an extra $100 per paycheck for tax withholders. All because I was just scared, crapless, because I just didn't want to owe them again. Owing the IRS was the worst. Like it's right. The only people who you would probably not want to owe as opposed to the IRS is like a sports bookie because he might break your kneecaps or like a drug kingpin or a narco boss or something like that. But yeah, the IRS is probably right behind those guys. So we got shook. We always claimed single zero. We didn't take any deductions. We didn't take any tax withholdings for our dependents. we paid extra money, extra allocation every couple of weeks, like 100 or $200. And so that's just we did that for years. We did that for maybe 5 or 6 years, to the point where we were getting back tax returns of $10,000, $12,000. Thinking about it, think about it. You get a tax return of $12,000. That means $1,000 a month should be in your income. But we were so shook and just so damn irresponsible. We was like, let's just go and give them all this money now. We'll get it back on the back end. After a while, we smartened up. We adjusted our deductions. Now things kind of play out about even. We may have to send normally a payment of, you know, $1,500 and $1,000, but the deductions pretty much match up. And we're definitely way, way, way more responsible now. So, we stashing money throughout the year to actually pay those taxes. Now let's talk about this absurd tax bill I got. I had three tax bills that I had to pay. $25,000 tax bill to the feds, a $6,000 tax bill to the state that I reside in, and then another $6,000 tax bill to the state where my rental property was at that I sold. So that's essentially how I got this huge tax bill. I had a rental property that I owned since 2007. I think I rented it out since 2013. I wanted to sell this property because, I mean, and speaking of selling properties, we pick the best time to sell properties because the housing market is like home sales have been declining for like 4 consecutive months, and interest rates are up. So they actually built new houses around my neighborhood that they can't get. I mean, they still on the market, which is crazy because, like, a year and a half ago, a year ago, a house was sold before the sign was even put up. We sold that house in like, we got the offer that we accepted in like 3 days. So, in hindsight, it looked like we sold our crib at the perfect time. But I had this property. I purchased it in 2007. I started using it as a rental in 2014. I decided to get rid of that property. I put a link to the video above in the description box where I kind of went through the whole selling in the seller's market and why I wanted to sell, and the stupid ass homeowners association that really just got on my last nerves. But because of that property, it was a property I had for a long time. I did have to pay a long term capital gains tax, which is much cheaper than what you pay for your actual income tax. But long term capital gain tax, you're looking at anywhere from 20 to 24%. So that's on the feds. You're gonna have to pay about 20 to 24%. Could be a little bit less than that, but somewhere in the range of 20-ish% for long-term capital gains tax. You're also gonna get taxed at your local state level. And if you have an out-of-state property that you're selling, you're gonna have to pay a small tax in the state where the property resides. So in my case, hey, I live in state A, my property was in state B. Because I sold this property, I had to pay the feds taxes. I had to pay state A where I live at taxes, and state B, they got a little small cut on off the top. I tell you, it was dope because the property was in North Carolina, and in North Carolina, their capital gains tax has a flat rate of something like 5.6%. So it was very favorable. It wasn't that big of a bill. Now, I don't even know the exact numbers, but I know it was 25 to the feds, about 6,500 to North Carolina, and then I think I paid another 6 or 6,500 to the state where I reside in. Now, how my tax preparer did things, I got a tax professional who does my taxes because I'm tired of doing it. I'm not going through all of that. They actually did the taxes and they created an estimate. Even though they did have to file for an extension, they did the taxes based on their initial assessment. They did an estimate. That estimated payment is the taxes that I sent off. So the 25 to the feds, the 6,500 to each respective state, those weren't the final numbers. Those were estimate of the numbers. And I tell you, those numbers were probably overshot because I told them I'd rather give them more than actually give them less. So I overshot those numbers. So that is, kind of how things played out for this month. I had to pay a big ass tax bill. I already knew it was coming down the pipe. So when I sold the property, we definitely didn't get rid of all the proceeds. We kind of set that tax money aside. We Thank God we didn't put it in the stock market. One thing I was thinking about doing when I sold that property was actually taking that money and putting it into the stock market to see if we can get some growth from it. But, in hindsight, me just putting it in a high yield savings account was probably the smartest thing to do. Because if I would have put it in the market, I probably would have been down. My single stock portfolio was probably down like 2 or 3%. My overall retirement portfolio with retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs is down like 10%, 9%, something to that range. So I probably would have took a loss had I taken that big chunk of money and put it in the market. So hey, kudos in hindsight, I made the smart move to put it in a high yield savings account so I didn't lose anything. Had that money set aside, knocked out those taxes, paid those off. Remember, we paid more, even though those payments were initially an estimate, we did pay more. I wanted to err on the side of caution. So I'll probably get a refund back because of the overpayment. I'm thinking somewhere between $5,000 to $6,000, more or less. Once we get that refund back, whatever it is, we're just gonna take it, stash it in the account, stash it in an investment account. We probably stash it in the account and just save it. I think I want to try to get a little bit of cash on hand because I just think things are gonna keep going down. And when certain stocks get to a low enough price, like as Tesla hit $700, or Tesla hits $500, or Bitcoin hit $20,000, I want to have some cash aside so I can make a move and jump on some of that stuff. So I think I'm going to kind of go into like a hyper accumulation stage as opposed to throwing any additional money in the stock market for the time being. That's a quick, recap of, my transfer Tuesday. I transferred a bunch of money from my account to pay off the tax man because I don't want none of that smoke. But we shouldn't be scared of the tax guy if you're doing the right things. Remember, one of the first lessons they teach you in law school is tax avoidance is legal, tax evasion is a crime. So we ain't committing no crimes over here in the household of the debt free dad. I probably drop another video tomorrow where I talk about how the budget closed out for this month because it was crazy. But because I had this big ass tax bill, I said, let me talk about this first, and I don't want to make this video long as hell. So if you like this video, you're definitely gonna like this video that I got up on the screen. Is more content related to our first generation millionaire financial freedom journey. As always, y'all take care. Love y'all. Be blessed. Peace.